This episode of Housing for Good is brought to you by listeners and supporters just like you. If you believe in creating safe, stable, and affordable housing for everyone, consider supporting the McPherson Housing Coalition. Your donation helps us provide housing solutions, support services, and hope to those who need it the most. To donate, visit our website, McPhersonHousingCoalition.org. All donations are tax deductible. Thank you.
Welcome to Housing for Good, a podcast dedicated to housing topics and issues affecting our communities in McPherson County and beyond. With years of experience and expertise, hosts Chris Goodson and Karolyn Moore discuss housing challenges and opportunities with other experts from a variety of housing fields.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Housing for Good. I'm Karolyn.
And I'm Chris.
All right, I'm going to go first.
Okay, go first.
I have news.
Okay, what is it?
And this should be across the state, and I would hope across the nation.
Okay.
But McPherson's summer lunch program has started, and it is 5 days worth of breakfast and lunch
Yay.
that families, kids ages 1 to 18 can pick up at the McPherson High School North parking lot. Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 6:30 p.m.
Okay, I have a question after you get done.
Okay, well, go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, so here's my question. If you live in the city of McPherson, obviously, if you have children, you qualify. Mm-hmm. What if I live in Inman, Mound Ridge, Canton, Galva, or somewhere like that?
So I'm going to say that I think every school district has some sort of summer lunch program.
So our guest is raising her head up and down.
She's saying yes.
So yes,
that's
each
a
school
nod.
has. Well,
yes.
the reason I'm asking is our All Faithful Facebook page.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Someone said, "Well, how do I sign my kids up for that? I live in Inman, and I'm going to come over and get some food." And I was just wondering to myself at the time,
yeah,
how
I
that
would
works.
just say contact your local school district office. Mm-hmm. They're going to be able to tell you where to get the food and when it can be picked up.
Okay.
There are also programs, I've seen it advertised on TV, where the kids can come into a school building and they can eat breakfast. They can come back and they can eat lunch in person. But in McPherson, anyway, what we have is you pick up those components to those two meals one time a week. So
I'm not the only person in the whole world wanting to know.
I know
whether you can go into another district and get your food or not.
Okay.
So
and now you got news. What's your news?
Well, okay. So today, Karolyn and I were invited to go to an event that was sponsored by Senator Stephen Owens and Representative Mike King. This was about affordable housing, and it was put on by Prime Craftsman Homes. They build modular homes. They're pretty cool looking, actually.
Yeah.
And so they mostly invited city, county people, and then we kind of got an invite because a couple commissioners said, "Hey, you guys need to be there." We're like, "Okay, fine." And so we felt like we were crashing, kind of, but it was fine.
Yeah,
it was fine. But I mean, this is an option. I mean, they're able to build brand new homes, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. They're like around 1,000 square feet, if I wrote that down correctly. There's no basement, and I think there was a garage attached to it for less than $200,000. So that's a pretty affordable price for our first-time home buyers. To me, it's still a little high, but it's not bad.
Not bad.
So we wanted to investigate that because we are going to be building some new homes in McPherson County, and so we're trying to figure out what is the best way to do that, taking our money that we received and using it in a way that's responsible and we can stretch it and all those things. And so anyway, so it's really interesting. If you ever go to Prime Craftsman Homes, I bet if you Google them, you can find them on somewhere on the internet and look and see what they're doing. Because, I mean, they really are wanting to move this across Kansas and then maybe nationally.
Yeah. Well, you know what really stuck out to me about their presentation was we're talking if you make $50,000 a year, you can afford your first home. You can afford to buy your first home. So I don't know all the details of that. They were trying to explain that. It'll be some more conversations. But I also found it very refreshing that we have representatives and senators that are going, okay, there is a problem And we need to help figure out who to bring to the table
Yeah.
to have these conversations. So, yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. And the Tarwater, I forgot his first name.
Sean.
Sean Tarwater. He's from, where's he from? Somewhere in western Kansas. I don't know where he's from. Maybe up by Manhattan or something. But anyways, he was there, and he's the chairman of the Committee on Commerce.
Yes.
So he was there as well, kind of curious about what this was. So,
Yeah.
I mean, this is a possibility. They were saying we needed how many 100,000 homes across the state or
Yeah.
some huge amount of homes. Well, we don't have the builders like we used to. We don't have the plumbers. We don't have electricians. So costs are rising. They're having to bring people in from other areas. Then you have all those costs. So anyways, this could be an answer. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I haven't, my appraiser side of it has a lot of different questions than my McPherson Housing Coalition side of me.
Yeah.
So I would have to see one to see what I thought about how that appraisal would work out. But
Yeah.
anyways, that's my news. I thought it was pretty fun today. We had a good time. We got pizza and salad. It was delicious. So anyways.
Okay, so now to our guest of the
Yes.
day. So today we are joined by Shalei, and she works at the health department. So would you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what led you into public health work?
I kind of have an interesting introduction to public health because I thought I was going to be an OBGYN. I was going to deliver babies or maybe go the midwife route. Like I wanted to bring that to McPherson County. So it's kind of funny. I now am at a health department. But I born and raised McPherson girl. I unexpectedly fell in love with our health department. I had some school clinicals at the health department. I was there for like 2 or 3 weeks, and I just fell in love with it. And I was like, the health department has been here how long? Like, I've lived here my whole life, and why don't I know what the health department does? Like, more people should know about this. So I fell in love with it, and I honestly just wanted to be part of the change. And it was just kind of perfect timing. I was graduating at the same time. A couple long-term nurses were going to be retiring from public health. So it just fit together perfectly. Like, I think this is where I was supposed to be.
Some things are just meant to be. Have you ever noticed that?
It feels that way.
Slide on in.
Yep.
You know, here, I mean, what are the odds? Because the people that were retiring had been there for a minute.
A long time.
A long time. Yeah,
Yep.
that's where we took all our kids to get their shots. Isn't that where you went? That's where I went.
Well, that's hilarious because my husband will tell you he grew up down by Hutchinson, and he was traumatized by the health department down there because that's where you went to get the shots. And so for you to grow up in McPherson and not even realize we have a health department.
yeah.
Yes.
Are you vaccinated?
I am, right? And I even got him from the health department. Obviously never put 2 and 2 together.
Apparently.
But yeah.
She probably had less traumatizing people than your
I
husband.
must have. We joke. One of my nurses, she is a longtime nurse. And when she was a kid, she has strong memories of being in her doctor's office and saying she's going to burn this place down if she ever has to come back and get shots again. And now she gives shots for a living.
That's how that works. Never
So,
say never. Right?
Exactly.
Never say never.
Yep.
So give us an idea of what the health department does. I know we're joking around, but we all know that they do shots.
Yeah,
Right?
right.
That's what everybody takes their kids and knows that. But
Yeah.
what else is you really doing there?
Yeah. So like prevention in the health department is our kind of key thing here. So a lot of other programs that we have, vaccines are obviously preventative care, but some other stuff that we do is also what we call family planning and reproductive health. So that's going to be your like annual well women's exams, pap smears, STI testing, pregnancy counseling. We help minors navigate how to talk to their parents about sex and like these weird conversations people don't want to have.
Okay.
And so there's
I
some
had all
preventative
boys. I'll
stuff
let my
there.
husband handle that
Yeah. Hey, that's
conversation.
perfect. Yeah. Yeah. So we do a little bit of that. We dabble in the vaccines, of course. We also have WIC, so the Federal Women's Infant and Children's Program, nutrition program for pregnant women and postpartum women and breastfeeding women, and then kids 0 to 5. So we do that, which is a lot of nutrition prevention or nutrition education to help with prevention. And right now, we're really trying to dive into community outreach. So coming out of the pandemic and starting to have conversations with people about how do we move forward from this? What are we going to do now? So community outreach right now is kind of we're spreading our wings in that and trying to figure out what we need to do for our community.
Cool.
Okay.
I like that.
I do too. That's very interesting. So kind of along that line, what are the biggest health issues currently affecting McPherson County? Are we, you mentioned COVID. That was kind of a nationwide disaster.
Right.
Yeah.
But what kind of health issues are we seeing in McPherson County?
Yeah, so another thing that the health department does that I didn't mention, every 3 years we work with our 3 hospitals in the county to do a community health needs assessment. And that essentially allows the public to complete a survey and to tell us what they perceive the need to be. So you are just going to be straight up with us and tell us what you need, what we're not providing. And that's for the entire county, and the data gets broken down to zip code even. So it can be as specific or as broad as we need it to be. But out of that, we just did it in 2025. And the top 7 health needs that we had this last year, essentially the project we're working on right now, named mental health is number 1. Affordable health insurance coverage was number 2. Substance abuse 3. Childcare 4. Workforce staffing, which I thought was an interesting, that came in next. And then it was followed by obesity and then housing. So we kind of had, those are pretty common, the top 7 that usually rotate in power of which one is, which one comes on top each year. But those are the 7 needs McPherson County has just straight up told us we need to be working on this.
So that's really interesting, and that just shows the connection between health and housing.
Yeah.
When that shows up on a big countywide survey.
And I think
the meetings that you had.
people have to rethink what we think about health. So I think a lot of us are conditioned to think of health as going and visiting my doctor's office or having an ER in town or whatever the case is. And health is so much more than that. Like social determinants of health, I could go on and on. Public health loves the social determinants of health, but it's just everything. Your income, where you live, who you're around, what you do or do not have, all of that affects your health. It's not just if you have access to that doctor's office.
Yeah. Okay, so that just made me think of something. It's been a minute, but Carrie and I both needed to get shingle shots. We're at that age, you know.
Oh, yuck.
And so when we went to our medical doctor, they said, well, we don't give that shot here. You can, and I'm like, well, where am I supposed to get it?
Right.
Well, you could go to Dillon's or Walgreens, or you can go to the health department. And so I asked that because I was surprised, and I probably shouldn't have been, but they submitted our insurance. And then whatever insurance didn't pay, they sent us a bill. But do you also give vaccinations on a sliding scale depending on the person's income?
Yeah, so it kind of depends. We have a federal program called VFC, which is Vaccines for Children. So 0 to 18, all the way up until the day before your 19th birthday. If you don't have insurance at all, if you are American Indian or Alaskan Native, if you are underinsured, so you do have it, but it doesn't cover vaccines, you qualify automatically for VFC. You will never get charged a price for the vaccine.
Oh, wow.
The only thing we can charge is an admin fee. And right now our admin fee is $20.25. Okay. The catch to that is I can bill you for that one time is it, and I can never send you to collections for it. I can never send you more than one bill. It's just we get the vaccine for free. The admin helps the county with the cost of the staff to do the work.
Yeah.
So it's a wonderful program. I wish we had it beyond the age of 18. So we're starting to see that transition. The state recently with the pandemic came out with vaccines for adults, so a VFA program, and it's the same thing. That program is just getting bigger and bigger. So if somebody doesn't have access to affordable health care insurance or cannot just afford the cost of that shingle shot, because there's 2 of them and they're expensive. They can be funneled through this program and get that. And right now, I think most places that offer that, they have to be a VFC provider or they just have some type of like special local funding that helps them cover the cost of it. So
what population do you think faces the greatest health barriers? Are people in poverty? Is it older people? Is it younger kids? What are you seeing there? I mean, because when I'm thinking about this program you just talked about, if people knew about that, first of all, they would know they could take their kids there and get that shot for free, mostly.
Yeah.
And so that's really would help. That would be very helpful there. But then you have some of our seniors that need things. And so what do you think our greatest barrier is right now? Is it that health part of it, or is it more the mental health side of it that's causing all of that, or is it housing, or is it what is it?
Yeah, I think the most broad answer I can give you is I think it's poverty. I want to say 10%, around just over 10% in 2025. McPherson County, that was our poverty population. So like 10% of 30,000, give or take some, is a lot of people. So the easy answer for me to give you is poverty. The people who need the most help are people that live in poverty, and we have at least 10% of our community that is dealing with that. That doesn't even account for the people who may not meet that income criteria and they're falling in the step right above that. You know, they still don't have all the resources they need, but they're not quote unquote qualified for poverty. I would say that is our biggest demographic locally, at least.
Yeah.
McPherson County is a great retirement community, and we have a very aged population. A large part of our population is aged. So it's kind of a back and forth. I think we do really good with our seniors and like responding to needs that they have and things like that. But I think we also have this other population that is like just kind of out to the side, where most communities do have this population, but like we have a weird balance in McPherson County.
Okay. We've talked about mental health. And so I know that COVID did a number on our students, our young adults. What role does mental health play in overall public health today, and what does our local health department do to help with mental health?
Yeah, I think mental health goes back to kind of what I said about reframing how we think of the word health, not just being physical health, going to the doctor, having great labs, the physical things, right? So mental health is something that I wish more people would consider to be as important as physical health. But I think our society is also conditioned and set up to not promote mental health and mental wellness. So if there was a bigger and broader collective to put mental health at the front line, you know, we have policies for if you're sick and have whatever disease, you have paid time off that you can take so you don't have to worry about not having a paycheck. We don't have that for mental health typically. So I think there's a big societal shift that needs to happen there, but specifically at the health department, we partner a lot with Prairie View locally. They are the agency that serves our county along with Marion and Harvey County. But we also do a lot of work with the Community Foundation, and every year they sponsor a suicide walk, and they just do different events to get people talking about it and aware of locally, like we do have suicides, we do have overdoses. Mental health is not something we can just keep brushing under the table. COVID exploited that and just kind of blew apart a system that was already fractured. So COVID made it worse, and now we're picking up the pieces, but we shouldn't be putting it back together in the same puzzle. Like we need to be building a different puzzle at this point.
Do you think that there is a lack of maybe some funding for mental health? Maybe we don't have enough providers?
Absolutely.
And I have seen from a personal standpoint, I have a special needs son that had some mental health issues for a little while. He's good now, but whenever he would have a crisis, there was nothing for us really to help him. I mean, we had to call the police half the time to get, and then they sent him to Larned or wherever. They stay for 3 days and send him back. And we're like, that didn't do anything for anybody, him or them, and anybody else. And so fortunately for us, we had a good mental health person, and he worked through some stuff, but that was a real issue for our family. I remember it was such a terrible time having to deal with that.
And it impacts everything.
Yes,
every part
awful.
of your day.
Yes.
That's all. How can you go about your normal day when that's what you're worried about? Like, because that's somebody's life. One of the things that we are a part of at the health department is, I don't even know if we have a formal name, but it's kind of the mental health group. And currently who meets is McPherson Hospital, McPherson Police Department, McPherson EMS, Prairie View, and us, and then the sheriff's office also. We show up once a quarter. We go over cases like any suicide attempts, mental health crises, and overdose information. And we talk about scenarios if there was something that could have been done better. So maybe we had a first-time situation with a kid that the hospital's never experienced before. They're sitting down and having that face-to-face conversation with the partner saying, we need to fix this before it happens again. So it's like a real-time
that's awesome.
Analysis.
I'm glad that's finally happened.
Yes.
It would have been nice for us.
Yeah, and it started right before COVID happened. COVID happened and obviously wiped out all of the meetings and things everybody was having, but it picked right back up afterwards. So we're still doing that, but that's kind of just a little peek, and I think that needs to be more well known because I want more people to be involved with it.
Well, and I'm really proud of McPherson, and I know Prairie View has been a big part of this, but they have a mobile mental health lab that will come to McPherson. So if there's a crisis, they can actually come here, they can meet with you, they can figure out what do you need right now to make the situation better. and move you forward in getting some help. And I do think that people are becoming more and more aware that mental health, just like your whole body, your mental health can affect your health just like a physical illness.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I think that conversation is getting better, but I do agree. We are still a long ways from what it needs to have.
Yeah.
So let's move on to prevention. That's a major part of public health. What preventative efforts are making the biggest impact locally?
I can't just pick one because there's big waves happening from multiple areas that the health department's involved, and then also that we have no part in, and we just get to be like, good job on the sidelines, right? Applause to you guys. Thankfully, it's not just us. There's so many other people. McPherson County is very fortunate in the preventative side of things. But what actually came to mind was the Safe Kids Kansas program, and their mission is to keep all kids safe from preventable injuries.
Okay.
Easy, short little one-liner there. Local to McPherson County, we do have the safe sleep portion of that. So we have a nurse at the health department who is a certified safe sleep instructor, and she can give some education to a new or expecting family. And at the end of that education, they get a free pack and play. And a lot of times we have other goodies too. So sleep bags, safe sleep stuff. So that, of course, saves lives because safe sleep is such an important part of bringing a new baby home and things like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Another project that the county has, part of Safe Kids, is their car seat program. So certain families can qualify for free car seats. It's much more expensive to fund because car seats are very expensive. And plus, we want to make sure it's appropriate for the kid. So the size and age of your kid is going to depend on what kind of car seat you need. So that has historically been around for a long time, and I think it's bumped between different agencies. But people can contact the health department, and we can get you in touch for that.
Okay.
They didn't even let us take our kid home until we had the right car seat.
Yeah.
I know, right?
My first one, I don't even know if he had a car seat. I will unfortunately admit
He
that.
had to
My
have a
younger
car
kid,
seat.
no, he didn't. He's old. But my younger ones, you weren't even leaving the hospital. You had
I think
to
they
have
still do that.
Yeah.
3
Okay.
years ago, they did.
Yeah.
Okay, and speaking of car seats, when we opened the emergency shelter, one thing that we learned is because people want to donate all kinds of stuff to you, which is great. We love donations and we'll use them anytime we can. But I didn't realize there's an expiration date on the usage of a car seat. I mean, I get it if it's been in a wreck or something, but there's actually a date on the car seat.
Yeah. And I want to say that has to do with like the level of testing that the companies have to do on the car seat. So after a certain time, the company's liability is essentially like, if you use this, we can't guarantee it's working the same way it did last
because
year.
nobody ever said why there's an expiration date.
I know, right?
Okay,
It's not like a tomato, right?
Yeah.
In your refrigerator.
You can't look at it and see, hey, I should probably not eat that.
Yeah, it's a little more hidden. It's a little more hidden than the tomato or whatever is in your refrigerator that's starting to get flies around it or whatever. Sorry, I can't.
So I remember when I was a young mother, the health department offered some parenting classes.
Yeah.
Are you guys still involved in doing that?
We kind of are in a roundabout way. So we partner with Shalei County Health Department's maternal and child health program. So once upon a time, I think 2014 was the year that we stopped having the program locally. McPherson County did have our own, what we call MCH program, and that is home visiting, becoming a mom programs, kind of that whole prenatal, fresh postpartum, help mom and family out with the new baby situation. We now partner with Shalei County to do that. They serve our whole county. She comes to our office once a week. So if she needs an office space to meet somebody or somebody's already coming to the health department, she'll just tag along and do the things she needs to do at the same time.
Okay.
So we do still do that. It's just kind of in a different method now. But same
so
program.
I'm going to throw another one at you.
Yeah.
So you guys used to do babysitting classes.
Yes.
Where people that wanted to get registered or they wanted to pass the testing and they knew first aid.
Yeah.
They could come and they would come to the health department and they would get certified. And do you still do that?
We don't still do it. However, if there's an interest, we know we've been asked about parenting classes specifically, and we've also had people mention what we used to do with babysitting class. I took it when I was in middle school. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And still didn't realize what the health department did.
I know there's just something wrong with this whole picture.
I know. How did I end up here?
How did that happen?
But
funny.
Yes, so we would love to. The one wall that we're running into is technically you have to be a certified instructor. So if there's somebody who already is certified and just needs a place to host it, more than happy to start doing that again. We would just need to get somebody certified to do it.
I would love to see parenting classes. I know we've talked about that in our emergency shelter and even our permanent supportive housing. Sometimes there's a lot of single parents.
For sure.
And there's definitely a trick to that when you're a single parent. You have different stressors that maybe myself with a husband am not experiencing,
Absolutely.
right? I know some of this crazy stuff, our kids, I don't know what I would have done without him.
Yeah.
Help me!
Yeah.
And then he would rescue me or I would rescue him. Like when my kid stapled his two fingers together because he was screwing around. So I just held his fingers and told his dad, here, fix this.
Figure this out.
Because I'm going to pass out if you don't deal with this.
Oh.
So when you don't have that partner, we're always joking around, but if you don't have that partner, it is so much more difficult to know when to give in, when not to give in, what to do as a parent so that you can raise healthy children who know how to go out into the world and do what they
Thrive
do.
And whatever
Yes.
else. It's a juggling act.
Yes.
It is.
I think it's very hard for single parents. So we would love to, I would love to see that in McPherson County. We would use it if we had that in our programs. We would totally use that.
So I think what I'm hearing Shalei say is, like myself, this was available when I was a young mother.
Yep.
And I've got grandkids older than what I was at that point. But if you see something that's missing, have a conversation. Start with the health department.
Please
see
do.
if they know of a resource or they already have a partnership. And if it's something we used to offer and we don't anymore, maybe we need to bring it back and we just need to find the right person to partner with.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think so. So I'm curious, what makes you optimistic about the future of health department or public health? What makes you optimistic?
It's kind of, public health is in a crazy world right now. I can't imagine why, post-pandemic and, whatever else. But I am staying sane and optimistic in the fact that more people care about public health than they ever have before. Whether that's in a supportive or not as helpful way, they want to know what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
So a challenge for myself that I've had to take is be more vulnerable with people and be more transparent. The way that I came into the health department is not an inkling close to the way the health department works today because of the things that have happened just in 8 years, let alone people who the last experience you had was getting your kids shots at the health department, let alone that difference, right? So something that I stay optimistic about is that more people know and care about what we're doing. Yeah. And it's a double-edged sword because it's also harder when more people are like, what are you doing and why are you doing that? Yeah. But it's also like, yeah, you should be caring about what we're doing. Let me tell you why this is important. So that's my spin on it.
That was good.
I have to do that to stay sane. So challenge myself and everyone else to be more vulnerable with your people. Try to be transparent when you can. Challenge the status quo, whatever thing you like to do.
Yeah.
Keep doing it.
Okay, what is something an everyday resident, just somebody in our community, can do to help create a healthier community?
The easiest thing, we like to call it neighboring, but it is be a neighbor. So whether that's somebody you know, your neighbor that you've lived next to for 10 years and you've never said a word to them other than a wave and awkward be on with your day, or if it's neighboring in the sense of you have a coworker that maybe it's just they're a lot to handle sometimes, and so you avoid them maybe. Maybe don't avoid them one time and talk to them. Have a meaningful conversation.
Yeah.
But also on the mental health side of it, if that's something that does not fill your bucket, because there's days it doesn't fill my bucket to have conversation, there's also things you can do for yourself. So as much as you sometimes probably need to actually get in your calendar and block off 5 minutes to say, I'm going to do something for me in this 5 minute. And maybe it's I'm closing my door and turning my phone on do not disturb so I can sit here for 5 minutes and close my eyes. Then do it. It doesn't need to be something that takes out of you the entire time. It doesn't need to be interacting with somebody else because that's exhausting sometimes.
It is exhausting.
Like you've got to find that balance. And it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. Like I'm not going to tell you go do 5Ks and eat better. Like that's not realistic. If it was, like, honestly, would we have a health department? I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
We still have one. My kids are still going to need those shots.
True.
And the doctors haven't done those for years, but
yeah,
this has been a really good conversation. And I do want to remind our listeners that whether you live nationally or internationally, most communities have a health department. So go check it out, see what they offer.
Yep.
Maybe you're a single mom and you need some assistance with those shots. I don't know how it works internationally with health departments.
Yeah.
Maybe you do, but I don't know how that works. But I know nationally, every community more than likely has a health department, or every county.
Right.
If every county is going to have a health department where you can get those shots, you can get the help you need, you can get the WIC program, you can get all these different things. So pay attention and know where to go to get the stuff that you need for your health.
Yeah.
It's really, really important.
Well, and I'm just going to go back to one. If I could pull one thing out of this conversation, she just mentioned, have a conversation with your neighbor. Know who your neighbors are. You know, I think that's one thing that is really different from when I was a kid growing up. Everybody in my neighborhood knew who I was and who I belonged to. And so if I had a problem, I knew there were people looking out for me. And I think that that's one thing our communities are missing. So be more of a neighbor to the people that live in the same block you do, if nothing else.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
That was a great interview.
It was.
I
very
learned
good.
stuff. Did you learn stuff?
I always learn
I
stuff.
always learn stuff.
You're supposed to say that.
No, seriously. I was like, okay.
Sadly, it's true.
I know, right? We don't bring you in here for our guests. We really actually bring you in here so we can know stuff.
That's great. I love it.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Anytime.
All right. Well, hey, this has been a very interesting conversation. Thank you so much for your time. If you would be interested, or you know somebody who would be interested in being on Housing for Good, drop us a line. Hey, leave us a review. Ask us a question.
Please ask a question.
You can do all of that at housingforgood@mcphersonhc.org.
And have a great day.